I think that the industry is the workplace for adults. It's not geared towards protecting kids. It's not a kid's workplace. My childhood got derailed. I got into acting when I was about 6.5, and I was found by this manager agent, and she was this super old from Queens, worked out of her basement. And she was just like, your daughter's gonna be a star. And so, my mom was like, let's give it a shot. My first Disney audition was when I was 14 and a half. My mom and I kind of gambled and went to Los Angeles. I was there for 1 month, and I had about 10 auditions for pilots, and none of them really went anywhere except towards the last couple days I was there. It was a pilot that was mostly focused on the boy, the little brother, and all his perfect siblings, and how he was kind of like the odd man out. It was a natural fit for me, and it was a natural fit for Shia. We ended up testing together and doing chemistry reads. And, it was pretty much not oil and water, but you could see how different Shia and I were in the room. And they were like, well, this is the show.
Well, if the money was ours, which it isn't, I'd put it in my college fund.
I really do wish that we would have connected a little bit more. I've always tried to support him all throughout different things that have happened to him because I can see that he's been struggling. Honey Boy was very hard for me to watch. And it struck me in a way that probably wouldn't strike most people because I was in the room next door. I had heard some things, I had heard some disciplinary conversations with his dad, but I couldn't understand because I was doing my own stuff and I had my own struggles going on. I think every 16, 17-year-old who's entering an instant celebrity or instant influence is tasked with their own level of influence upon themselves and struggles, all that. I'm from a middle class family from the East Coast. They were pretty wholesome, which is, I think, another reason why they pushed me towards the light and the wholesomeness of Disney. Disney is a part of Hollywood, but Hollywood as a whole is for adults to work and make money by any means necessary. I chose to do a nude scene. It was a consensual thing. I figured at the time, I was like, you know what? It's a little extra money. I had thought that it would do something to change the way that people saw me at the time. And it didn't. It's hard to grow out of a casting when you're a kid and you're known for something very specific. What ended up happening over time was I fell into the typecasting so that it was convenient for casting agents and managers to submit me for things. I'm sure people have heard it before with children actors going broke. When you're that young, if you don't have the right mentorship, you just don't know what you're doing. I think it was 21 when things started to get really complicated with my finances. I was making all this money, and rather than invest it in a house, invested in, passive income and build up my portfolio, that was not a concept. I was a little bit spiraling in a way that was confused about the value of the money that I had. So I didn't really understand when I started seeing a psychic. And at first it was very chill and very relaxed. And then the psychic kind of made me feel like my life was dependent on getting certain items, including a crystal. It was a big mistake. I think it costed $60,000 or something crazy. I thought it was a pretty rational decision. And in doing so, I've realized it was silly. It takes a long time to learn that when you're in your 20s, that's for sure.
The dangers of being famous or having any kind of fame when you're young is that you really can't control it. It's completely out of your control.
I have a unique perspective on Hollywood and what it means to kind of grow up in that environment and kind of thrive, survive, fail up, not down kind of mentality.
That's a lot of pressure to put on a kid, essentially to have to grow their career at the same time that their mind, body, and spirit is telling them to just be normal and go to school and go to college.
My YouTube vlogs tend to meld together because they are very personal, and I am very much in real time pulling things out of my mind and trying to come to terms with them.
Welcome to the skeletons in my closet right here. So here's how alcohol almost ruined my life. It's no secret. I obviously struggled with drinking. I have been 5 years sober.
It's been really interesting to see what comes out of this conversation with my past.
This show is called Christy's Kitchen Throwback, where that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm cooking in the kitchen with my favorite throwback stars.
Christy's Kitchen Throwback was a show that I did on YouTube, and it was very successful because it had a bunch of throwback stars, and we cooked foods from their iconic careers, and it was a blast. So Christy's Kitchen Throwback's book, the cookbook, is going to be launching, and I'm very excited about it. If I could give any advice to young actors today, it would be to set boundaries. These young actors, they want to please everybody because they're performing and they're getting attention and love, and it feels really good. But when that goes away, who are they? The earlier that any child actor can learn how to set boundaries, the better.